Franny K. Stein, Mad Scientist, Book 1, Lunch Walks Among Us, Chapter 11, It's Mad Science Time. Franny looked at the kids. They looked even more afraid of her now than they ever had before. She thought about trying to be sweet or less scary, but that just wasn't going to get things done. "Do as I command," she said in her most scary mad scientist voice. "Go get your lunches." The kids stopped running in circles and ran to get their lunches. Mad scientists, even when they're only 4 feet tall, can be very persuasive. "Put the bread in one pile and the lunch meat in another," she barked. The kids did as they were told and quickly disassembled their sandwiches. Franny was busy examining the bottom of the trash can. "I think there's just enough of this unstable industrial waste left to do the trick." Franny worked fast. She told the kids exactly how to arrange the lunch meat and how to get the bread ready. They were afraid, but they did what she said, and they did it quickly. Being the only mad scientist around, she was the expert on unstable industrial waste, so she took care of that personally. Then Franny pulled a needle and thread from her backpack. "This will require absolute silence," she said, and the kids watched her begin stitching the lunch meat together. Franny worked quickly as the kids watched in terror, occasionally handing her additional slices of salami or bologna when she so instructed. They knew they were watching something not of this world, something that no human eyes had ever seen before, and in that moment the pants-wetter decided to let loose one more time. Chapter 12, Ham I Am. Finally, Franny walked solemnly across the room and washed snips of ham and smears of mustard off her hands in the sink. She sighed a deep, satisfied sigh and turned to gaze on her creation. There, standing motionless in the middle of the classroom, was a giant monster thing made entirely of glistening, delicious bologna, salami, pickle loaf, and ham. The time had come to provide this creature with the awesome power source it would need to come alive. Franny grasped its salami nose and slid 2 batteries up its nostrils. "Awaken!" she commanded. The creature's eyes slowly opened. It growled and looked at Franny. The kids clung to one another in fear. "The flagpole!" Franny ordered, and the creature began walking stiffly toward the wall. With a mighty punch, it smashed its way through and headed outside. "Bread!" Franny yelled, and the kids, following Franny's plan, began pushing the pile of bread over to the base of the flagpole. The lunch meat creature grabbed the pole and shook it. Miss Shelley screamed, and the kids gasped. "Shake harder!" Franny commanded. The lunch meat creature shook and shook until finally the pumpkin crab monster dropped Miss Shelley. Chapter 13, The Final Inning. Franny watched calmly as Miss Shelley fell toward the ground, screaming. Then, with the loudest puff sound anybody had ever heard, Miss Shelley fell right into the big squishy pile of white bread, completely unharmed. Franny turned to the lunch meat creature. "Now, my lunch meat abomination, go get that pumpkin-headed creep." The lunch meat creature grabbed the flagpole tightly and pulled until bologna-flavored sweat dripped off its forehead. Finally, with a monstrous groan, the lunch meat creature ripped the flagpole right out of the ground, causing a very angry pumpkin crab monster to fall and hit the pavement with a ground-shaking crash. The pumpkin crab monster got to its feet and growled. It began stomping toward the kids. It was almost on top of them when Franny, the only kid that did not look worried, calmly whistled. Suddenly, a cloud of bats flew down from the sky and grabbed the pumpkin crab monster by the arms. "Batter up," she said. The bats flew as fast as they could with the pumpkin crab monster, and they headed right for the lunch meat creature, who had the flagpole up on its shoulder. The bats dropped their burden just in time for the lunch meat creature to bring the pole around like a giant baseball bat and connect with the pumpkin crab monster as if it were a giant stinky softball. With a loud crack it went hurtling off into the sky, never to be seen or heard from again. "Home run!" shouted Franny. Then Franny turned around and saw the shocked and horrified kids huddled around an equally shocked and horrified Miss Shelley. They looked more scared of her than ever. Franny had the sad, sinking feeling that she had saved the day but had lost all of her friends.